Hi, I'm Viola. Welcome to my channel. So, I see a question that is semi-consistently said, which is, how do I layer? Or, I've been layering things and they don't look as good as others. Well, layering is really quite simple. It's basically putting one piece onto another piece onto another piece. But you want your base piece to have some sturdiness. And what I see sometimes is I see people saying, okay, I'm layering, but they actually put the item, they start out with the journal page. When layering, I would suggest when you make pieces that you actually start out with a base, and that went into the picture frame. So this is my base, and I made it a little stronger so that I can kind of show you, excuse me, so that I can kind of show you the elements of layering. So this is a piece that I used 2 pieces of manila folder, so it's a little thick. And I initially started out with these, and then from this, I cut out this. So the other thing I did in creating this layer is I wanted to create some texture in the layering process. That is probably at least 30, if not 40% of what you want to do when you're laying. You want to create textures. So with this piece, it initially started out as just a piece of paper, but I went ahead and I mounted it on 2 pieces of manila, and then I added, of course, you know, the distressed inks that we all use, and then I Mod Podged it, so already it's soaking in texture. So these pieces, then what I did is I took 2 of these pieces, and there's a reason why I used 2. And by the way, I was flipping through one of my junk journals, excuse me, that I swapped a while ago, and the member sent me this, and I was looking through it again, and I noticed that there was a piece of ephemera that looked to be really a good layering project. So that's why this came about. Now, I just want to show you this. This is just one of the pieces of paper before I mounted it onto something thicker. I did Mod Podge this, but it's kind of flimsy. So when you're layering, you do want to add a little bit of depth to it. So I'll go ahead and explain a little further. So I took this piece, and what I did, and I did it because I'm basically imitating what this person made. But imitation is the kindest form of flattery, I hope. So anyway, I put 2 of these together, and I glued them. I glued them together, and it creates a really sturdy base. And it also creates some eye-moving pieces here that already take it from this to this to this, and we get ultimate end is this. And I'm just gonna real quick. So then we've gotten to this piece. Now, what I want to do is I want to add some color, some oomph to it. So what I did, and again, you know, this is all just grabbing stuff that you have in your stash, things that you can use, but I have a piece of thick burlap in the coral color. And then I was kind of trying to decide what's the next piece. Well, I could go coral and coral and coral, but then you know what? My burlap starts to lose. I lose my burlap back there. So the other piece is this is just too big for what I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm going to go back to my coral piece here, and I'm just going to adhere it. If I can get my glue out. All right, so I'm going to adhere this, and little by little this piece starts to take shape. There we go. And we got a little sticky here. But that's what glue is. All right, so my next idea was, what do I want to add to this? I don't want to add coral again. And I found a little bit smaller of a piece of something I picked up in Facebook Marketplace. And let me just, there's a pin in there. But I was thinking about this. And I thought, well, that looks really nice. Let me see if I can bring this in a little bit. Okay, there we go. And I thought that looked nice. But then my ultimate goal, and certainly this would suffice, you know, this would actually answer the call of, you know, pieces on pieces, some thickness to it, and adding some color. But I wanted to go a little bit more. So I bought this fabric for the fall swap that we had in our Minnesota journaling group. And so I had bought that for that piece, but I forgot to put it in the bag. So I'm going to use it. And the piece that I used, or am using, the reason I'm adding this piece in is because there's two reasons. It brings two different separate colors. Here it brings kind of a gold shimmer, but it also brings kind of a off-white. And when I lay it down, I also made sure to kind of grab some of the fringe off of it. You'll notice my fringe here is also hanging. When layering, you don't, I can't say you don't want to, but a better way for layering is if things are not even, if I want to say it that way. So my last piece that I'm going to add is this piece. And what it does essentially is it creates a multi-level, what do I want to finish that off to? A multi-level area where the eyes get to see several things while looking at the piece. And I'm just going to add that on. So when first looking at this, the eyes are going to see the difference in the bottom. It's going to come up slowly, and it's going to see the coral, then it's going to see the shimmers, and the end is going to be the focal point. So that is the idea behind layering, is just giving the individual a chance to look at several different things. So you might want to practice. I was going to bring something. Oh, I did. So this was an attempt on a piece. And you know what? Nothing has to be perfect. But I did make a little hidden paper clip, and it had layering to it. So it's got some green, then it's got little brown burlap, and then this little cute pieces from Pink Monarch Prints. It is a hidden paper clip, but this is a paper bag. And so I put some burlap. I've got, I believe that's a, it could be Pink Monarch. I'm not entirely sure. But if I go inside, we've got layering galore. Just different things for the eyes to look at. And then of course we open it up and there is our paper bag. So play around with layering, have fun with it, and if you end up making something and you are in the junk journal group, be sure to post a picture of it. Be sure to post a picture of it, because I always like to see what everybody's making. So before I made the one that I did on camera, I made this one, and I used fabric and some other colored burlap, but there are my pieces again. And then this one I thought turned out pretty nice. I like the shimmer. This adds a little bit of different areas for the eye to look at. There's, you know, there's the points here, and then there's some, you know, rounded areas there, but then the eye ultimately comes to the top and looks at the rhinestones. So I hope this has helped you in some way to learn how to layer. My suggestion is just start pulling stuff together, you know, add, take away, add, take away. If you glue it and you don't like it, toss it away. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please like and or subscribe, and I'll talk to you again. Bye for now.